Hey, have you noticed that you're starting to see some unconscious patterns? How we can design our whole life, my body, my personality. It goes back to the behaviour change. Observe how food makes you feel. Insights into how you really want life to be. Or are you feeling stuck? Are you getting tired of your own excuses? This is all right on target. It's all normal. We can't rush our awakening. We should start to see a lot of listening up around who we thought we were and what direction we want to move towards. We're just taking all of these little habits and aligning with nature's rhythms, and miraculously we start to experience more energy, power and freedom to act, and our interaction to life itself up levels.
I want to take some time to talk a little about accessing all of yourself in this next phase of who you want to become. So if we look at this in terms of how the brain chemistry works, the idea of who we want to become is happening more or less on the right side of our brain. When we ask ourselves, who do I want to become next? That starts to open us into unlimited thinking. Unlimited thinking is tapped into the emotion of joy. So tap into that now. Feel the potential, the expansion. Yoga talks about the space element, akasha. Sense of becoming bigger than you currently are. Just like the universe, constantly growing and expanding. We are a microcosm of the macrocosm. When we ask ourselves this question, who do I want to become next? It taps into the right brain, feminine way of thinking that's expansive. And what we find in there is that it opens the door of creativity. We start to realise we can create ourselves. Who we are is not patterned. The left side is very logical and linear. It's attuned. It likes patterns. It likes figuring out the world, the patterns behind the matrix. The logical, linear part of ourselves loves to reverse engineer, to figure out how things work, and we want to know that about ourselves. We want to tap into that left side and reverse engineer what the right side wants to create. Now, in studies, men who have more right side thinking are more tapped into creativity. They are more successful in what they do. And women who are more left brain, who are able to reverse engineer their dreams, are also more successful. This is termed endogenous thinking. So when it comes to habit change, we need to spend time tapping into the imagination and creativity and noticing that when we do, it sparks joy. And joy itself actually expands and grows, and we start to tap more into the unlimited nature of ourselves. This is so important for our nervous system, for who we want to become next, so we don't get stuck in who we've always been. So we don't get stuck in, oh, it's too hard, of going more into the logical thinking of how am I actually going to do that as it starts to shut me down. Instead, we want to say, if I have the desire for this, create a visualization, a practice which is so powerful and important as we move through the habit evolution. Because if we can visualize what that person looks like that we want to become, how does that person feel? Uplifted, energetic, clear, grounded. Get really specific. Practice being how you want to feel. Do it for a moment every night before you go to sleep. Then visualize that person. How do they feel when they wake up in the morning? What kind of practices do they do? And as we do that, we start to reverse engineer who we're becoming. And that's exactly what we want to do. This is where the left hemisphere can come in and be super helpful. It can take the visualizations from the imagination and ground that into reality. This is where methodology, like BJ Fogg, that says every habit needs to be easy, doable. We need to want to do it, then we can just tag that new habit onto a habit we already have in place. Use the old habit, such as brushing your teeth, as the trigger to start flossing. Maybe only floss 3 teeth the first night. Lower the barriers to entry. So the plan is reverse engineering. Often on the left reverse engineering side, we need to make the plan and schedule in the plan. For example, the habit, start to eat more veggies. Plan, add the leafy greens, roots, sprouts to the grocery list. Not only buying and stocking the fridge, but also scheduling in time to look up a new recipe and cook it. The left side loves automation. It thinks, let's do more of that, and create a positive feedback loop. The left side loves the control environment of very logical thinking. So consider the recycled grocery list linked with the recycled meal plan. Consider what it would be like to have the same recipe every Monday night. This can make it easy to incorporate a habit. The hardest time is when the most inspiration is required to learn the recipe. Who we've become is someone who eats more veggies. And there's more energy, connection to plants, diversity of nutrition within the physiology, which has all sorts of health benefits. So now just pause and work on this part. Who do I want to become next? And how do I reverse engineer that? Knowing that, breaking it into small steps, Kaizen, is really what's going to work. Then once you're clear on that, visualize yourself doing that. And this enables the right hemisphere to become incredibly free and expansive. And then you live an extraordinary, easeful life. It's not about how you experience the world, but how the world experiences you. This is the yogic path, upgrading our Dharma. It's not about being in a box, it's the freedom that the self naturally arises out of. Challenge the victim mentality. Remember the big why. Allow yourself to be interested in your new normal. There is no end game. Dare to evolve. Your audacious life goals are fabulous. We're proud of you for having them. But it's possible that those goals are designed to distract you from the thing that's really frightening you. The shift in daily habits that would mean a reinvention of how you see yourself. So backsliding. Break it down into triggers. What is exactly happening? What is behind the scenes? Plant the seed of conscious shift for the next time through visualization, and engage your peer support for the next time. Look at the keystone habit and the Kaizen move. Maybe move on to a different habit. If you're feeling stuck on food, perhaps shift to exercise as the keystone habit, which can make a bigger difference, and the food will just fall into place. Some might find meditation or saying grace or even taking 5 deep breaths before eating. Just be willing to explore and open up. Take the pressure off. I'm doing this wrong. I'm just hopeless. This is linked with identity. Do you feel like you're failing? Just break it down and find some traction and focus on the positives. Let's look at self-massage, which is really about using our hands to heal. Unity down the middle, then divided into 2. Left is the feminine, the goddess. The right hand is the masculine aspect of the divine or the God. So taking both hands to heal, the masculine and the feminine, the duality of the one, and we use these to create an experience of unity. On one hand, massage is a topical beauty treatment, and on the other, it's building unity, consciousness within our bodies. When we rub our body parts, it brings the parts all into the one. There's a lot of disconnect in Western medicine around touching at all, and many of us weren't taught about the power of touch and how to use it to create, from the deepest level of self-esteem to deepening therapeutic healing processes for our own self. I'm a huge fan of massage, any kind of bodywork really. I love how it makes me feel in my body, my mind and my spirit. But I hadn't experienced doing this level of self-massage until I did the 10 Habits course. And in the Ayurvedic daily practices, Abhyanga, which indicates massage with oil, but we'll also talk about dry brushing, self-massage is just a part of how to have a body, something that we should be doing for our self-care every day. I, like most Westerners, learnt to use soap. Then if my skin felt dry, rub some lotion on the skin. We will explore why we should not use lotions and why oil rocks. What I've learnt is what I put on my skin affected how I touched my skin, and how I touched my skin affected how I felt, what my self-esteem was like. Not from a heady experience, but from how in my body I was to experience the world around me. From Ayurvedic research, we know self-massage helps us to feel grounded in the self, more control over our body, and improves how we age. We know it actually deepens how we feel about ourselves. So as you adopt this practice of massaging, your body self-esteem deepens and your identity starts to shift as you get more grounded in the various layers of the tissue in your body. In Ayurveda, we have 7 layers and the massaging affects all 7. The bones, the nerves, down to how your body is able to recreate, our reproductive fluids. This can be huge for anyone who wants to optimize fertility, cycles or menopause and beyond. Self-massage starts to recycle some of the deeper hormones of your body. So self-massage happens on the physical body. The energy body, energy gets stuck in the legs. We start to move it back up into the center of the body. Or if it's stuck in the head, we start to pull it back down. It works with the mind because you start to feel the nerves start to relax. It affects the emotional body as we start to feel more integrated, calm and strong within ourselves. For some who are low in energy, you can massage in a way that energizes the body. A dry brush, even just using your dry hands in the morning, can invigorate and wake up the body. Also, the intuitive body. The more you're in your body, the more you're aware of when you're talking to someone and you get that gut reaction, or however your intuition connects through your physiology. The more you use your hands to touch your body, the more in your body you are, the more you're going to notice the messages your body is sending on the level of intuition. Then the bliss body. We've covered the 5 koshas for those yogis. It affects our experience of being one, of being in unity consciousness and interconnected. So I hope you find this inspiring for including some form of self-massage as a daily habit. Now I want to talk about some of the issues that arise. Some people are touch averse, such as those with autism or Asperger's tendencies. And some of us are people who don't touch ourselves. Maybe as a child you were told by loved ones not to use your hands to touch your body. Or maybe you have a history of abuse in which other people hurt your body. And there can be levels and layers of disconnect. And I want to say to you, if that's happened to you, is I'm so humbly sorry, and know and trust that you can start to rebuild some of the integrity in yourself and build back some of the love you were not given in your growing up process. Start very simply. Even just start with the idea of giving yourself a massage. You might choose to just stay with the feet, or even just with the big toe, or your kneecap or elbow. Just start somewhere. Or maybe use a dry brush on your arms or legs, and then maybe use gloves to rub and not actually touch skin to skin. Then perhaps just using dry hands on the skin, so on the feet, the head, the ears. Explore the acupressure points to help release tension and increase connection. Maybe try some essential oils for calmness and soothing experience, such as lavender. Maybe move towards using oil. This gives the physical experience some love. Have the feeling of yumminess and start to have deeper layers of feeling. This habit can really be a game changer. Different things happen with oil and without oil. So leaving the oil bit aside, just rubbing yourself. So it nourishes the body and the mind, rejuvenates the whole body, including your skin, increases longevity, delays aging, relieves fatigue, builds stamina, promotes deeper sleep, enhances complexion, enhances circulation and detoxification. This helps to loosen armour with improper or incomplete digestion. So it shifts it into the circulation so the body can eliminate it correctly. Releases stress and awakens the senses, can help muscles recover, can help support digestion, the blood pressure, and even supports organ communication. Shifts the attitude into positivity and teaches self-love and self-care. Many of you know these because you've had a massage and you notice there's clarity with how I perceive the world. I've noticed a shift in how I'm feeling. 1 to 2 minutes of self-massage a day can create a noticeable change. Then there's the specific benefits. Using oil on your scalp can help thicken and beautify your hair, nourishes the sense organs, and decreases facial wrinkles. Oiling your ears can help decrease stiffness in the neck, release tension in the jaw, helps optimize and protect hearing, and can prevent infections due to underlying dryness. Oiling your feet before bed releases tension from your day, stimulates the organs into detox, that's using those reflexology points, makes the feet more flexible, aids in deeper sleep, and creates a sense of ease before rest. Give yourself a little massage of the scalp right now. Notice the increase in circulation. Then grab the bone gently above your eye socket with your index finger and thumb. Then gently trace your index around the eye socket from the inner eye to under, just gently pressing. Now some sense organ care, rubbing around your ears and gently in your ears. The energy can get stuck in the ears, especially around the change of season with colds and flus. And clearing this can help clear the cervical lymph with circles in the ears. You could pull down on the lobe and massage up on the outside of the ears. Acupuncturers work here because there's all those pressure points that relate to different meridian lines in our bodies. You could do this to one ear and just notice how the other one feels unloved or uncared for and just wants to be touched. But the one touched feels more connected to the body. This is how we can get the power of touch. Now grab one of your feet. Rub the sole and notice the hard bits and the soft parts. Notice any sensitive parts. Use your thumbs to dig in. Any tender spots, you can do little circles. You might like to look it up later on a reflexology chart. And then massage each toe, starting at the base of the toe and gently pull up the length. Give a little shake and pull off the top. Notice the difference between the feet, and you'll notice why it's an important thing to do. Notice the corresponding side. Is there more stuck energy? Does your other foot feel more tired or tight? Notice if your hands get tired because you're not used to doing this, but they'll get stronger as you practice. Massaging the feet as a bedtime practice will help us to sleep better and more deeply as it releases tension. It increases foot flexibility, which is great as we age due to helping our balance. We're less likely to fall and fracture a hip. In Ayurveda, ama, the toxins, build up in the joints. So if we're not doing a massage, the ama moves deeper and deeper, and certain body parts are going to get solidified with ama, like calcification, and hardens into scar tissue. With self-massage, we can start to break down that scar tissue, that calcification, some of the hardened impurities of the body, stuff that's not where it should be, minerals around the bones that stop circulation and energy. Self-massage can start to break that down, and when we do, the body parts become more flexible, integrated, connected and coordinated, which helps us age in an entirely different way. So let's look at this in terms of habit evolution. Say you're a lotion person and not an oil person, and now we're learning why lotion is not so good for us and oil is so much better. We may have trouble shifting that unless we start to shift our identity around it. Perhaps say, I could let go of the lotion and experiment and see what the effect is. What level of self-care, how I feel, how my muscle tone is, how much better I enjoy doing the practice. So if resistance comes up and you're like, I'm not willing to give up my lotion for oil, then let's see what happens as you start to maybe shift your identity. We absorb 60% of what we put on our skin. Children's bodies absorb 40 to 50% more than adults. They're at a higher risk of diseases later in life when exposed to toxins. We need to be super aware of what's in our body care products. We need to understand that there are health issues linked to toxic chemicals. For example, skin allergies, cancer, infertility, birth defects, reproductive problems, learning disabilities. There's so many more, but those are some of the big ones that nobody wants to experience. So on this slide here, there are 12 ingredients we want to avoid. Why are we doing this? Because we want to know what we're putting on our body. So if you're using a lotion, check the ingredients list. You want to know if it's carcinogenic and toxic. Some of these ingredients listed are used as pesticides. Also watch your sunscreen, get mineral based. Some oils such as coconut and sesame oil have a natural SPF, sun protection factor. But simply staying out of the sun or wearing shirts and hats is really the best way. The oil we use, such as coconut, sesame oil or sunflower oil, choose one close to source origin. So oil should go rancid fast. If products are not going rancid, there's preservatives in them. And this is toxic to our physiology. Stuff should go bad. Food should decay, right? What you put on our skin should be food quality. What you put on your body goes in your body. So use this slide to help work out what products you're putting on your skin. So returning to the layers of behaviour, the identity evolution. Maybe you're someone who doesn't worry about skincare products. You just use whatever's available and inexpensive. You start to shift. Now I have to worry about this too. Not only the food I'm putting in my mouth, but also the stuff I use on my body. Makeup even, because that goes into our eyes, or on our lips with lipstick will go into our mouths. We start to realise that we're in a pretty toxic space, and it's stuff that's going to take out our immune system. So here's a table about making our own body oil. Take note of what season it is. If it's more vata, it's dry and crusty outside, so that's our autumn. If it's hot out, then it's more pitta, the fire element. And if it's cold and damp, then it's more the kapha season. In general, in hot weather, we use coconut oil as it's cooling, and in cooler weather, we can use sesame oil. Sometimes the quality of the oil varies. It's more viscous or the aroma is strong, so you need to do some research or testing. Sesame oil is tridoshic. You can keep it really simple. Just grab some oil from the supermarket, such as coconut or olive oil. Choose one that's first cold pressed where you can, because this hasn't gone through a heat process that alters the chemical configuration. The integrity of the oil remains intact, so it's going to be very easy for the body to absorb. You also want to choose organic, extra virgin, even raw, and just put it in your bathroom instead of in the kitchen cupboard. You might like to get a squirt bottle, perhaps a PBA-free one. The concern with plastics leaking is it affects women's hormones, these estrogen-promoting chemicals, and it throws the balance out. So here's a table with some recommendations for essential oils to help the different layers of our body. Essential oils are expensive, but a little goes a long way. Do some exploring of what smells great to you. What do you want your body to smell like? And add a few drops. If you're not someone who would be bothered with making your own special blend, that's fine. You could easily buy one that's already created with specific essential oils, like the Young Living range that I use personally. There's a relaxation blend for my bedtime foot, neck and shoulder rub. In colder weather, make your oil warm. So you might have a mug and put some hot water in it, and it will heat the bottle of oil in a couple of minutes. You might even like to find a sunny spot to do your self-massage. If you're worried about the oil going down the drain and blocking it, massage after the shower. You'll find that you won't use as much oil as the skin is already moist from the shower water. If you want to, you do it prior to the shower because you'll absorb more, and the shower is more of a rinse off, using just enough oil so the skin absorbs the majority of it. And then use old towels and pat yourself dry. This is a beautiful habit to share with the kids. You could do their massage or they could do their own. Teenagers can grow a connection to their bodies and become less judgmental of themselves. And you can sculpt the body you want to have. Rub the genie out of the bottle. In general, starting at the head and moving down to the feet is more grounding, which is great for bedtime. If you start at the feet and move up, it's more stimulating. If you move from the extremities towards the centre, it's more detoxifying. So play and see what you and your body likes. Don't use your favourite towels afterwards. Don't do it in a cold spot, and don't use rancid oil. Don't rush because you'll feel disjointed. Take your time. It feels good to feel good. Don't clog your drains. You could squirt a little dishwashing liquid on the floor following your shower and rinse it down. Just make sure you take care with slipping. Don't give up. If you're not into the oily part of this habit, just do the dry massage with your hands. You might get curious about exploring the oily part later in the future. Dry brushing helps to stimulate the circulation. There's a lot of different equipment you can explore and choose from. Cuffer types, this is really helpful for you. Brush towards the heart and the bowels, and of course it's not as messy because you're not using oil. For the Wonderlanders, this is a little bit further down the rabbit hole in this concept, and this resource is in your notes. So you can oil your eyes, your ears, your nose, your mouth, anywhere that's got a hole, even the belly button, because it used to be a hole and it still has a lot of sensitivity. These are great places to bring oil into the body. These are not just exit points. These can also be entry points. Brainstorm any resistance here using the limiting beliefs and the deeper truth worksheet. So the limiting belief, it's too oily, it's too messy. The deeper truth, do it dry or only use oil on certain areas. A limiting belief, I don't have time for this. A deeper truth, use oil in the shower instead of the soap. A limiting belief, this is just too bizarre. A deeper truth, I don't like to touch myself. It's weird. So your growth work for this week. Design a time and place to do self-massage every day for the week. Just 1 minute. Dry brushing counts. Using the hands without oil counts. Foot massage counts. It all counts at whatever level you feel comfortable to explore. Tune in to the healing power of your hands. And redo your identity evolving worksheet. I want you to see what's changed over the past month since you did it the first time. Journal about it and let your body wisdom lead. We'll chat soon.